After making my way to the White Mountains and the Omni Mount Washington Resort, I checked into my room and had a great dinner with chef de cuisine Roger Young.
This is great.
On day 2 of my White Mountain trip, I'm off to the Cog Railway, just a short drive from the resort.
How are you today?
Good. Thank you.
The Cog Railway has been entertaining and exciting passengers on its fleet of trains for well over 100 years.
Smile, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
My plan is to ride one of their newer, environmentally friendly biodiesel engines all the way to the summit of Mount Washington. And today, we have perfect weather for the trip. I had the opportunity to meet up with Gareth Slattery, who happens to know more about trains than anyone I've ever met. Talk to me a little bit about the operations of the Cog Railway.
We have 5 biodiesels online right now, and I have 2 operating steamers. And we could have up to 6 on the track at once. It's a great team effort to get these to the top and get them back down.
All right, nice big smile, like you know what we're doing.
All aboard, folks. My first trip ever up Mount Washington. This is going to be cool.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Mount Washington Cog Railway. My name is Josh. I'll be your brakeman today.
Behind the scenes, I don't think a lot of people realize that these locomotives and coaches were designed and built right here.
How many people are on staff in the maintenance, the building?
Our maintenance team is comprised of about 10 to 12 folks. The daily operation in the summer, we hire somewhere around 45 people. There's always been a special group of people that have kind of kept this place going.
Now, right here on the right is going to be a nice little clearing. You can look out across the mountain range.
I travel all over New England making this show, and I've had some pretty cool adventures along the way. I've swam with penguins, made friends with a harbor seal, made a batch of the oldest candy recipe in the country, and learned how whiskey is made. I even learned how to harness a team of Alaskan Huskies on a dog sledding trip in Maine.
I don't think they're listening.
But I can already tell that this is shaping up to be one of my best adventures yet.
This building's called the Halfway House, and it sits at an elevation of 4,500 feet. It marks out the halfway point in the elevation today. There's a sign that says this building is exactly level.
As far as I'm concerned, you can keep Mount Everest and Kilimanjaro. There is something about climbing Mount Washington, whether by car, bus, hiking, or train, that makes you feel like you accomplished something great. What do you want people to really remember about their experience here?
The easy part is to look around. Everybody takes that in. But to appreciate the mechanics of it, to appreciate the history of it, it's a privilege and an honor to operate this place because of its historical value. Men of the Civil War built this thing.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. The Civil War was fought between 1861 and 1865. And it really made an impression on me that the very men who fought in battles to unite our country actually built this railroad so that we could enjoy a peaceful trip to the summit of Mount Washington. Today, I made it to the summit.
We probably have a good 80-mile visibility this trip.
And I have to admit, I feel a little of that pride that Sylvester Marsh must have felt when he built this railroad and ascended the summit for the first time. Okay, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. All I really did was ride in the coach. But still, there is a lot I haven't learned yet about the history of this railway. More on that later. I made it all the way to the summit of Mount Washington. Well, almost all the way to the summit. They made it all the way to the summit, and they're not waving, they don't care. The Cog Railway rules, you gotta come up here and do it. Scenery's amazing, people are awesome. Josh, the brakeman, was incredible. But like I said, I'm at the summit of Mount Washington, the highest point of the East Coast. Beats all those mountains out west. Those are just, yeah. Stay here, stay in New England. Now I'm at the top. What I'm learning is that I have a lot to learn. This is not your ordinary train. The biodiesel is a smooth, efficient ride to the top. But seriously, folks, I came here for the history. So owner Cathy Bedor was nice enough to invite me back tomorrow for a ride in a real piece of history. Tomorrow, we ride the steam.